Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Chris and Matt and Mike talk about that this week.
Oh my gosh, you got it
Hail
right. You did it.
the conquering hero.
You did it. I'm so proud. It's written on your monitor, isn't it? You got a sticky note on your monitor that says, this is what the podcast name is.
Anyways, I'm Matthew, your co-host for this, or your host for this episode.
We trade places.
We trade places. Not so much like Eddie Murphy, but we do trade places.
Or swap
Not like
faces.
Yes. So Mike is joining us again, the Bacon Master.
Michael Tiberius Nash.
Yes.
That would've
For
been
another
badass, but no.
special DS9 episode that we will be discussing. This is the 18th episode of season 1. With this week we have a Latin name, Dramatis Personae, written by Joe Manosky, a regular TNG writer. Now I'm hoping you guys did not do any background research into this episode. Am I correct?
Nope. I did.
I left it alone.
I wish I'd messaged you guys. I didn't think about it until I was kind of done doing notes, but I wished, because I was hoping to get your guys' kind of own interpretation. So I'll have some questions later. I'll let Chris answer when I get to that first, since he did not. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to do trivia and stuff at the end, because I think the background of the trivia gives some context to this episode. But I'm kind of interested in what your own interpretation is without knowing that background.
All right.
So overall thoughts of this episode. Mike, we've only brought you on
For bad episodes.
And the tradition lives on. You did it.
So you were not a fan of this episode.
Either
I'm
you've got a
guessing.
dartboard and like my name takes up like 90%, and like you've got like everybody else is in the bullseye center, and you're like, this is a bad episode. Who do we ask?
Mike. So
yeah,
so this is kind of my fault that we asked you for this one. This is kind of my fault that we asked you for this one, because Matt had a different guest in mind and he couldn't make it. And he goes, well, I could ask Mike. And I was like, this is definitely a Mike episode. You should ask Mike.
one of these days.
Sorry, I cut you
One
off.
of these days we'll do a good episode.
I promise you'll get a good one. You will get at least one good episode before we give you the rest of the bad ones.
Thank you.
I'm going to be a little contrarian here. I got a big kick out of this episode.
My opinion is pretty short and sweet. It's a skip. Avery Brooks does a great job of kind of exercising his acting ability in this episode, and he kind of stretches his legs a little bit with it. But otherwise, I wanted to almost have like an old Trek feel to it. But at least Babel was kind of interesting with the like weird, no, we can't communicate kind of thing versus the way this episode plays out.
See, I found this episode way more entertaining than an episode like Babel, and more interesting. Just seeing everyone act in such a bizarre and absurd way is really entertaining to me. And the high concept is not fleshed out, and I can see the audience being confused by it. I think it's interesting, especially on second watch through, kind of thinking about it. The high concept of this is there's a psionic manifestation of a dead alien species, right? And they possess the crew, and it causes them to reenact the same paranoia and combativeness that destroyed this alien species. So, and this isn't explained in the episode well, each person in the crew has seemingly taken on a personality, like a singular personality from this alien species. And that is not really explained in the episode, really at all. But I don't know. I just got a kick out of the episode. I can't defend it. You're going to see at the end. I don't give this episode a high score or anything like that. But for me, I don't know. I just found it entertaining. And I'm guessing, sounds like Chris, you didn't. You're on Mike's page, it sounds like.
So I think it's a bad episode. I do think this is one of the worst ones. This is a skip. But I will, okay, on a rewatch through, it's a skip. I think it's worth watching once. Kind of like the games one is worth watching once, Move Along Home, just so you know the memes. This episode, I was upset because the acting in this episode from everybody is fantastic. Everybody's acting is great in this episode. And that's the only part that's good about the whole episode. And it just goes to show why you need a solid writing team behind your show in order for it to be successful, because it's just the execution of the concept. Because I got the concept just from on the first watch through. I mean, I remembered it a little bit. I've seen it before, obviously, but I was like, oh yeah, this is the one where the things go in their heads and there's all sorts of other stuff. But I don't know. I could see the actors having a great time with the episode, but I didn't like the explanation for why things were happening, or I guess the lack thereof. I wasn't looking for exposition, but more exploration of the why instead of, okay, this is the way it is now.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because to me the high concept of everyone on the station kind of reenacting this dead species story, right? That high concept to me is interesting, but most of the episode is Odo solving a crime, which, by the way, I also kind of found entertaining, but it's not as interesting as just a high concept thing. It's just him solving a mystery. But
I think that this alternate title for this episode is Odo looks back in disbelief.
I will piggyback off of Chris's point. You can tell that the cast really had some fun kind of like taking their character and, playing in a different way. So it allowed everybody to be like, how would I play Kira in a very charismatic and, kind of domineering fashion. And so you could definitely tell they had fun with it.
Avery Brooks just turned into himself from the Captain's documentary when he was messing with William Shatner. Just as very soft-spoken, then said big energy, and then nothing.
That's funny. I'm usually the negative Nancy on this podcast, but I guess I'll be the positive one this episode.
He's Maximus Matt now, or Maximal Matt.
So in doing some research for this, I discovered that the actors who played Jake and Nog had a podcast, and the guy who plays Jake, he still does the podcast. The guy who played Nog sadly passed away from kidney failure. And were they doing what we did? They watched DS9 episodes and talked about them. And I haven't watched much of it yet. I watched a little bit of the one for this one, and they were really positive about this episode. But they brought up the same point we've brought up, which is Sisko is not the focus of this first season almost at all. He is a secondary character. He's heavy in the pilot, right? And the actor who played Jake Sisko, he's not a Star Trek expert or anything, and the guy that hosts the show is like this Star Trek expert, and he's asking him like, are the other Star Trek shows like TNG, Voyager, are they like this where the captain is like not a focus? And it's like, no, this is just this first season of DS9 is like this. None of the other shows are like this at all, where the captain is
there are episodes where the captain's not the focus, but yeah, DS9 is interesting because he's not, but you can't,
the pilot. He's the focus of only the pilot.
Yeah. But I think I understand why though, because the captain of a starship has a lot to do. Benjamin Sisko is Michael Scott. He's just the boss who sits in the office and they get him when they need him, right? He's an administrator. He's not the captain of a ship. He does paperwork and makes sure the station runs smoothly by yelling at O'Brien to fix his coffee machine.
But they set the pilot up as him as the emissary, and the whole thing's going to revolve around him. And then they go, nah, well, they just forgot. They saw a stroke and forgot about it.
Well, I think that has to do with the push that the studio is giving them to keep more TNG style stories on there, to make more episodic rather than serialized, because they wanted to do the big serialized story right away, and the studio goes, oh, hold on, we don't want you doing that because TNG is super popular and we want it to be as like TNG while being different at the same time. Okay, guys?
But you can tell those stories and have the captain be the focus of those stories more. I mean, he's such a secondary character.
But I think when they wanted to do Sisko stories, they want to explore the emissary Bajor stuff, Because why would you not? Why would you have a Cisco episode where you don't follow that delicious, juicy thread that you set up in the pilot? So I think that's why they kind of avoid doing the Cisco stuff.
Well, I think also something to keep into consideration, what differs between DS9 and all the others is that in DS9, Starfleet's like the ultimate authority. And who's the ultimate authority on these ships for Starfleet? It's the captain. So at the end of the day, in any of these ships, the captain has, the final say or, whatever. But on Deep Space Nine, you've got Bajor, who technically owns the station, just Starfleet runs it, not to mention the stuff coming through the wormhole. And so there's just, I think, a couple of different factions at play that kind of takes power away from, Cisco as the captain. So I think the analogy of him just kind of being the administrative head versus, the captain boldly going where no one has gone before kind of, goes away.
It's just my opinion. I think trying to make it more of an ensemble than the other Star Trek shows is a detriment. And they stopped doing that after the first season. In the subsequent seasons, it's Cisco's show. He becomes a much bigger part of it. But this first season, just to me, it just feels weird in that. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about before the fact that they set up this big plot at the beginning and then, don't sprinkle anything about it almost at all into any of the other episodes.
Well, I mean, if this show had come out in the 2020s, they would have just said the writers are racist, and that's why. So
yeah. I think an interesting point to put to that is that the original series was very Kirk focused. And everybody else kind of played to his story. Like he managed the problem, the situation, delegated tasks. And that was really this series, which I love. And TNG really kind of did that a bit in its first season. And then while it was still episodic, towards the end of mid-end of TNG, it was very well-rounded in, who got to be the central focus for these episodes. And I think DS9 tried kind of coming into the same point that TNG did in the middle there, instead of, starting with the captain leading the crew in the very beginning. So it just depends on where the studio was at the point, I think, with the show, with all the shows going at the same time. So
yeah,
it's still a Picard show, though. The majority of episodes each season focus on Picard. I think there's more Kira episodes this season than there are where Cisco is the primary. But
Hero and then Odo, and then maybe even O'Brien and then Cisco.
Really.
Look how hard we are trying to talk about everything that's not this episode.
Well, let's get into it because I had a lot of fun on this. So we get into our teaser. Major Kira and Commander Cisco debate whether to allow a Valerian freighter, and this is the first time we ever see a Valerian. They kind of
last time too.
Got little suction cups on their forehead, kind of different makeup than what you normally see on Star Trek. So Kira suspects them of smuggling weapons-grade dolomite to Cardassians because the Valerians used to do this when the Bajorans were still under control of the Cardassians. But Cisco refuses to deny entry without concrete evidence. And
I think he's right to do so in this scene,
Yeah, and this, of course, really upsets Kira. And I kept thinking they were saying dolomite, which is a 1970s black exploitation film. And also, of course, a mineral. But I was like, dolomite.
See, this one did kind of confuse me a little bit just because it is a Bajoran station. It's being administered by Starfleet. So we understand that there are things Starfleet won't do. Like, for example, what was it when Odo was like, yeah, just beam me onto that ship, and what's his name, the other security guy, was like, no, that's against regulations. And so I understand.
Oh, is it against regulations?
Yeah, see? So I understand why Starfleet won't do things, but I think you're in Bajoran space trying to get it on a Bajoran station, but it shouldn't be a major Kira call. It should be Bajor says, hey, we're suspending trade with the Valerians because you guys helped the Cardassians. That's the way that should have gone. Like, Kira should have sent in a call to, Bajoran High Command or whatever the heck they want to call themselves, and said, hey, I don't think it's a good idea they're here. And I guarantee that they would have been like, no, that makes sense. They helped out the Cardassians. We don't want them here either.
Yeah.
Well, to me, this is
the
evidence.
Episode would be over.
To me, this is evidence that the station is, the final say is by the Federation, and that it is a neutral site. I think that's strong evidence of this. And I think we see this throughout the show, that really the Federation has final say on the station, which goes to my idea that the only reason the Cardassians handed it over and didn't blow the station up when they left, like when South Africa ended their government and handed it over to Mandela, they shut down and got rid of all their nuclear weapons, they didn't hand them over. But I think the only reason the Cardassians handed the base over is because the Federation agreed to run it, and keep it as a neutral site.
I agree. The only reason that I have kind of an issue with it, though, is in the very beginning, Picard tells Sisko, we want Bajor to join Federation. I don't think the Federation in this case would be like, hey, we're in your space, but it gets to be neutral because we're here. I guarantee Starfleet would have been like, hey, we can staff it. You guys aren't capable of doing it completely. We can definitely staff it. It's your show. You just let us know how you want it run.
See, I think it's part of the agreement that it's Federation ran. That's part of the agreement they made.
But they want these farmers
the
to join the Federation. They want these, plowing farmers to join the Federation.
Well, part of that is
this show does not treat the Bajorans well.
No,
part of that is having peace with people you used to have combat with. So the next thing happens, damaged Klingon ship appears out of the wormhole and it immediately blows up. And one guy's trying to teleport over and O'Brien helps him to teleport over. I don't know how that magic works.
I laughed really hard in this scene because Dax tells O'Brien, oh, try doing this. And O'Brien's like, yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I was a transporter chief for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Don't worry about it. And he doesn't say it disrespectfully, but you see a little bit on the face of, yeah, thanks. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing,
Well, I also love how there's only ever 2 things that you can do to help improve the transporter process. And the person who's not doing the transporter process is always telling the person who is to do one of those 2 things. And it's just at a certain point, you just kind of stare at them and be like, yep, got it. That was one of 2 options I had.
Yeah.
So O'Brien succeeds in beaming this guy over. He immediately collapses and dies, yells out victory. And the mystery starts, what's going on. And later on in the episode, they show the psionic force as this visible cloud, but here we don't see it. It's just complete mystery.
I think that's because it was a reaction. It was a reaction to the Bashir magic that he worked in the cargo bay.
Which, for this scene, what is the Klingon word for victory? Because I feel like that should have been the thing he said.
I'm pretty sure it's it's either Qapla' or related to Qapla'.
Yeah, exactly. That's just that should have. I know it's a little tiny thing, but it's he just got done beaming off of his ship, and he's like, Starfleet officers, what a victory. Oh.
Well, yeah, but universal translator. So sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. Yeah, they have to speak English because otherwise the audience doesn't know what's going on.
Maybe it's just me nitpicking.
So Sisko sends Dax and O'Brien on the runabout out to the Gamma Quadrant through the wormhole to see what was going on with the Klingon ship, why it came in back and exploded.
I don't think they go through the wormhole. They just go and grab the black box of the ship. Pretty sure they're on this side of the wormhole.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. So they have this totally typical Star Trek scene where they're yakking at each other in ops, setting up the plot, and the camera pans to Dax, and she just slyly grins looking at the panel and then laughs when O'Brien calls for her. And I love this scene. It's so confusing in such a great way the first time you watch it. I had a real WTF moment when I was watching this. And I think it's a great choice to be the first out of character thing we see, because it's not so totally outside of her character where I immediately thought the crew's possessed. It's just
right, because she's a dreamer anyway.
Yeah,
she really is
weird. It's just weird enough where you're like, that was odd. Yeah. So Kara attempts to delay the Valerian ship's docking yet again, but Sisko directly overrides her orders. Odo interrogates Quark about the Klingon crew, learning they were hunting for a legendary weapon or artifact. Odo suffers a sudden physical seizure that distorts his face and he collapses unconscious.
That looked great, by the way. And then like falling down, except for the part where he didn't turn into a puddle.
The scene is frightening. That screaming noise he makes, that guttural scream is freaky. And then his face opens up. It is like out of it, like, or not it, the Thing.
The Thing. Yeah, it reminded me of The Thing for sure.
Oh my goodness. But,
and Quark is terrified. And that sells the whole everything to him. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But like I said, the one thing that took me out is like, if he's unconscious, shouldn't he just be a puddle? Like, does it not take effort to retain his form? Shouldn't he just like, oh, I gotta go get a mop, Odo's unconscious?
That would be pretty funny.
I don't know. It would be. Be expensive though. That's why they don't do it.
I do love the genuine concern. Like, there's terror when he sees Odo do that, but he also, you can tell the actor does such a great job of genuine concern that Quark's like,
yeah,
please don't let Odo, Chief Security, die in my bar. Oh God. And
Quark is the character more than any other that they change from the beginning of this season as they go along. He has become much more softened and much less cutthroat.
I also do love in this scene when Odo and him are going back and forth. Odo, socially stunted changeling, grumpy old man on the porch, through fire, trial, and error, has become a crafty negotiator simply by being forced to interact with Quark on a regular basis.
Yes.
Like I guarantee in the beginning, Quark was just taking him for all he was worth. And over time, Odo just kind of figured, I see how to deal with you.
He learns leverage.
Exactly.
That would be work crew 7.
Watching this season, I've kind of grown not to like Odo, and Quark often feels like he's written into episodes he doesn't need to be in, but they're the best part of this episode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're so good.
100%.
Like I said, I like the high concept, but I also like this little Odo solving a mystery.
Yeah, I think Dax has probably the best line of this episode, but I love the interaction between Quark and Odo.
Sisko to me has the best lines. I love Sisko in this episode.
He does a good job in this episode, I will say.
So Odo awakens in sick bay where Bashir exhibits subtle paranoia and hints an impending clash between Sisko and Kira. So paranoia is a big part of this episode. It's a big theme.
Is he paranoid or is he hitting on Odo because he wants Odo to pour himself through?
That was one of my comments, because he was like, if you want to go through my analyzer, and he like wiggles his eyebrows at him. I was like,
yeah,
a little bit of Bashir charisma. I can appreciate that.
So Bashir's scene here is where we put together that there's something wrong with the command crew.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like the mystery aspect of this episode. One of the positives about Star Trek being this fantastical sci-fi existence is that when they do mystery stories, they can go anywhere. And I mean anywhere. Odo could be in a Romulan holodeck, or everything after Odo's freakout could be a delusion, or this could be an alternate universe. And
I had a moment where he was looking at his hands and I was like, did Odo just get possessed? Is that what just happened?
Yeah.
Here?
I was thinking first time I watched this, because I have no memory of this episode, I was thinking maybe it was a plot by the Valerians to take over the station. So that
would have been a much better episode.
Yeah.
Well, I different. I like the kind of concept.
So you can like the high concept all you want, but if the execution's bad, it's a bad episode. I guarantee you they would have done the Valerian episode better, and it would have been a better episode.
I like the execution for the most part.
It did cross my mind when Odo started looking at his hands. He was like, I don't normally wake up with hands. And so he was like, this is weird. I didn't go to sleep. What happened?
This is what it feels like. What it feels like to not be a puddle in the morning. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
So Kira starts creating BS reasons to not let the Valerians on, and Sisko really pushes back against her this time and forbids her, and their hostility escalates. He forbids her from stopping them. And
they're both being unreasonable already, right? They're already both being unreasonable in this scene. This is where you really start seeing that Kira and Sisko have been set up as the antagonist by whatever's happening to the command crew.
So we get a scene on the runabout. O'Brien and Dax are out there looking for the black box. And I love this. I love O'Brien in this episode. O'Brien is like pressing her about her loyalties, if she's loyal to the captain. And Dax's thing, whatever personality she's taken on, is just like an airhead, I guess. And she has hard times like staying with conversations. And I love so she starts talking about like, oh, I like Cisco. I remember one time, and O'Brien just abruptly interrupts her and says, good. Anyone who is against Cisco is against me. Like a
loyal little lapdog.
I love all of the cast all of them. I love every single performance.
The performances are fantastic. I will agree. I actually had a theory for why Dax is such a ditz, because someone being a ditz doesn't really contribute to the downfall of a civilization. My theory is, and this is also Leela and I talked about it, we watched this episode Thursday night. My theory that we came up together is that the psionic energy is in the humanoid brain, but not in the symbiote brain. And so there's like it's like misfiring, you know. Dax, the symbiote, is going, what is going on up there? And Jedzi is like, la 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 la, da, 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 da. I remember things sometimes, which isn't her normal personality, because now instead of 2 personalities in that one body, there are 3, and it's making everything go wrong. That's my theory.
Well,
anyway, 3 with like, what is that? Hundreds of years of personalities behind it as well. So yeah, there's probably a reason why her like synapse is like firing on all cylinders.
The psionic energy is like, what is happening?
The way I interpret it is that these people are taking on specific people's personalities, like historical figures from this alien species. That's the part that's not really expanded upon, but that's how I interpret it, at least.
Leela was wondering, why are they regressing? What is this part of their own personality? And I said, that would have been a better episode. Because it's not them focusing on a part of their own personality. It's no, aliens did it.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's only really prominent in Cisco and Dax. Like Bashir is still kind of the neutral, like, I'm not sure which way I'm going to go throughout all the episode. But Kira is just, she's always
kind
been
of like between him, Garrick, and Dax, right? He doesn't know which way he's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, Kira is pretty well herself, just much more charismatic and a little more domineering. But I don't know, it like that's why it was such a weird kind of part where it's like, it would have been more interesting if they had like referred to themselves in different names and, you know, actually taken on different personalities instead of, just slightly changing a little bit about who they were.
See, I disagree with that notion. I think their personalities are totally different. And I think they are taking on a specific alien's complete persona.
Yeah. Kira is still like angry, I guess, but she's more, because Kira doesn't go in for the conniving too much. She's capable of doing it for sure, but she's not a sneaky character. It's not her style. And she's definitely not the oh, look, I'm a woman, don't you want to help me? Because she does that to Odo a couple of times. Like there's once where she's like leaning on the chair and she's just like, hi Odo, can you help me? But and it's all, and that's not Kira. That's not,
though. If she wants something, she will do anything to get it. And like, was it when they went to rescue those prisoners on that previous planet and she had to pose as a prostitute or something? Like, she definitely brought out the female sexuality.
I don't remember that.
It was that
episode.
It was where they were rescuing the what's his name from the Cardassian prison, and she was supposed to be a Bajoran like call girl essentially. It was O'Brien was with her.
I look forward to that episode because I have no memory of it.
Maybe I am. Okay. I am in the second season, so I might be talking about a future episode. Okay. So fine.
You are talking about a future episode.
Okay. So fine. There will be evidence that she will do what she can.
Up to this point, though, up to this point, we don't see any kind of behavior like this. And she slides down that I'm going to use any tool in my toolbox scale so quickly. and it feels out of character for what we've seen of Kira already. So it feels like a different person. And I thought she did a good job of being a different person while still being Kira.
And I don't think Dax is an indecisive person. And I don't think Cisco is an apathetic person.
No.
And so, yeah, to me, they're taking on just someone else's complete persona. They're reenacting it, right?
But that's why I was like, they should have gone full polarized, or they should have, just not. They just made the crew paranoid.
Well, no, so I think what would have been better is you start the way it is in the episode here, and then they start calling themselves different names once in a while, and then they start recognizing each other as those names and move on, and then they're just playing the power play. I
can agree with that. We'll make it a little more explicit.
Yes.
All right, so we all agree on that part. Oh, nice.
Wait, should I disagree just for fun?
No, we need to keep going.
Disagree? Smash my clock on your head.
It's a clock. That line.
So Kira approaches Odo to recruit him against Cisco, but Odo refuses to take sides. Dax and O'Brien recover the Klingon mission recorder in return. Cisco shows no interest in the logs and obsessively begins building a complex clock.
You don't see what he's doing. You just see he's like doing something on like a slate, and he keeps turning it over and then hiding it from people at first until they're in the quarters together.
So I had this note later, and Mike, if you know the answer to this, don't answer. I wrote this when I was doing my notes and I hadn't done research yet. What do you guys think the meaning of the clock is? What does it symbolize in this story?
I didn't see the background on that. So,
well, then feel free to give your thoughts then.
I just thought it was, kind of like, so Cisco's character strikes me as a representation of the people that are like, hey, just don't bother me. I just want to deal with my own life until something intrudes on what they want to do, and then they get violently angry. Is kind of what I did. That. So like the clock is leisure time. The clock is your Xbox. The clock is this podcast. That kind of thing. Matt's nodding. I did a good job.
That's not how I thought, but I think that's a great answer, and that's probably closer to what the writer's intention was. I don't know what you thought, Mike.
I didn't really have much thought on the clock itself.
Other
than it looks like he was creating something that he had never seen before, and he was an inventor in that kind of moment. But other than the pastime, I didn't really have initial thoughts on it.
I had it reminded me of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They're like using all this stuff they don't know why, but they're like making the mountain where the aliens are coming. You've seen that movie, right?
I have not.
Yeah. What? You've not seen that movie?
No.
Oh, you would love that movie. It's very esoteric.
You've hit your quota. Congratulations.
So if we think of a clock, I think a clock typically symbolizes the passage of time, right? Which you can also infer as death because it's the end of time. And Cisco becomes this person who's apathetic to everyone and everything else except this clock. Yet he still wants to defeat Kira. I feel like when I was watching this, I felt like the clock is a warning that this constant sense of paranoia is going to lead to their doom. And Cisco is manifesting that doom by creating the clock. The creating the clock is a symbol that he's manifesting his own end.
It's a literal doomsday clock.
Yeah.
That's not a bad connection. I could see that.
So we'll get to it at the end, but I believe it
is a huge clock.
The writer's
it's enormous.
Intention is
Cisco has a huge clock.
Yeah. The writer's intention, I think, is a little closer to what Chris was saying, but we'll get to that at the end.
For this act, again, I do want to hit on, I enjoyed the actress who played Kira. She did a great job with her kind of, sexuality, the charisma that she was trying to play with Odo. But I also loved how Odo kind of kept his true neutral, where he was like, I don't care about sides. I want to understand why you're trying to break the rules. And so it was just, I don't know. I liked how both actors did a great job in this scene.
They're watching the video, and the AI Topaz hasn't repaired it yet. And there's a video effect of the video breaking up. That effect is used in a Star Trek movie, and I could not place in my memory which one it is.
Star Trek 6.
Is it 6? They're watching. They're watching a Klingon video, right? That's what made me. I think reminded me of it.
It's the same one from. It's the same effect that you get when they're talking to the guy on Praxis, who's like, "We don't need any help. We don't need any help. It's fine." Which is, I think, why they used that effect. One, they had it already, and two, it's a Klingon transmission getting garbled. This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
I recognized it instantly because that's my favorite Star Trek movie.
We communicate with phasers.
No, disruptors. Phasers are for wimpy Federation dudes. Disruptors don't have a stun setting.
It's also Mike's favorite Star Trek movie. Mine's Rathacon.
I thought your favorite was Generations, Mike.
Right. No, I have an appreciation for that most people don't.
Yeah.
I love Sisko's line in this. I couldn't care less what happens to a Klingon ship. The heavy emphasis on Klingon. That's tremendous. And then Dax starts talking, and he cuts Dax off and says not to bother him. And Dax does not even care at all. It's like someone laced her tea with Xanax and ecstasy or something.
Well, you know, I could see Dax trying that. Like, this has what in it? I'll try it.
I think the chief tried lacing Sisko's coffee to get him off his back, and Dax took the coffee from him or something. Maybe that was in the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
So we go to Quark's bar, and Dax is just sitting there drinking her ecstasy. And Kira tries to recruit Dax, and Quark is... Oh, she tells Quark to like F off, which is just Quark's reaction of like, what? So the Quark is not affected in this. And we've shown his Ferengi brain is like not affected by.
Well, also it's only the people in ops
stuff
that are really affected, I think.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
hard to tell.
I think it's because
there's that one random Bajoran.
Ferengis aren't affected by psychic stuff the way other humanoids are.
Because they got 4 lobes, their brain's super different.
And we see that.
It's the
was it in the
devotion
last
of greed.
episode? Yeah, the greed's so powerful it blocks it.
Yeah. No, it was the last episode. Yeah, Betazoids can't read
Yeah,
Ferengi.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Which is already established in TNG on that really bad episode where they're kidnapped by Ferengi.
So this conversation is so funny. So Kira tells him to F off, and he's standing at the end of the bar, and Kira's trying to get Dax to join her, and Quark has this reaction he can't believe, so he like knocks the glasses over, and Kira comes over, and I don't know where she gets super strength from. She just like throws him up into the bar, which is crazy, and just like choking him.
Well, we see Kira is strong, and we see Bajorans perform fairly impressive feats of strength. I think that they're just stronger than humans. I think Bajorans are just maybe 50-60%.
It's all
it's all the farming, all the plowing and living in houses with no glass windows. But I think Bajorans are just stronger than your average humanoid.
Yeah, and Quark's like, I didn't hear anything while he's getting choked. It's really funny. So Dax in this scene, Dax is just so blown, her mind's just blown up. And she gives us these wise words, which only a 300-year-old soul could give us. And I quoted it here. You know what they say, put the shoe on the right foot first, but put the left foot first into the bathtub. And Kira's like,
and she takes another drink. She's like,
yeah, of the syrup they're drinking.
Kira's like, yeah.
It's like colored Caro syrup.
I know exactly what you mean.
I do love, funny enough, I think that is a great quote, but I think it falls second to me just because the next quote that she gives later when she's talking about, Sisko, she's like, I've been friends with Benjamin Sisko for many years. In many ways, he's like a son or a nephew, some kind of close relative anyway.
That is a good line.
And she does a great job delivering it too.
Oh,
This is just Deep Space Nine, The Office edition.
little
That's
bit.
what it is. Yeah.
Everybody just kind of flexing their muscles like, what if Dax was an airhead?
But it's like everybody is one part of Dwight Schrute's personality.
we get a scene where Quark goes to Odo's office to snitch on Kira, and Quark is in the Vince McMahon neck brace.
Oh yeah,
and,
this is great. This is the best scene of the episode.
Trying to get sympathy from Odo. Come on, Quark. You know that's a losing strategy, bro. Come on.
Odo already knows he's lying.
Yeah, just completely ignores him. And as that scene, as he's going up the elevator, Quark just breaks and he's like, I want justice.
And he's trying to pull it off.
So Odo tries to warn Cisco. He goes to Cisco's office first, and O'Brien's in there. And O'Brien's become like his top lieutenant, which I just love.
Yeah.
And O'Brien tells him, he's in his quarters protected. And so Odo goes to his quarters to warn him that, something's wrong in your crew's about to mutiny against you, bro.
So O'Brien in here shows that whatever being is inside O'Brien is just the bootlickiest bootlicker. Because don't we always try to keep you happy, Constable? And Odo, does the thing that the episode's alternate title is, looks back in disbelief. But I'm just like, wow. Things that O'Brien wouldn't say.
Yeah, and Cisco does not care. He needs to build his clock.
No.
Get out of here, Odo.
Yeah.
I don't care.
This is the line. This is where the line is. What do you think? And Odo's like, I'm not sure. What is it? It's a clock. And he's like, it's like some revelation. And Odo's like, okay, you're as crazy as that time that O'Brien was talking about the personality of the computer.
So you guys interrupt me if you got something to say or put your finger up. I'm just going to read through a little bit of the rest of the plot here. So Kira asks Odo to assist in a plan to depose Cisco and O'Brien. Odo pretends to agree so he can track her movements. Odo analyzes the Klingon recorder and learns the crew found telepathic energy spheres created by the extinct Saltana race. The spheres contain a psychic matrix of an ancient power struggle that forces living minds to reenact it. And O'Brien secretly meets with Cisco to plan a counter coup, suggesting they escape the station and return with Starfleet enforcements. This scene is right out of a Shakespeare play.
Yes.
And I loved it. I love Cisco freaking out and saying he's going to grab
I love that
phaser.
nobody hears him freaking out. Nobody hears him freaking out.
Well, the door's shut, so.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I got a huge kick out of this scene.
I love how he's holding the clock tool he's got like it's a phaser.
Yeah.
And then he lifts it. He lifts it up at the end like it's a dangerous weapon, and then sits down all calmly again. No, this scene's really good. I think that's one of the things that frustrated me the most about this episode. It is a series of good scenes that don't make a good story.
Absolutely.
And that's what was so frustrating about it.
So Odo visits Bashir and feigns paranoia to convince the doctor to invent a signal program called Odo-1, capable of purging the telepathic imprint from humanoids.
What if we're the only ones not affected?
Yeah.
That would give us the advantage.
You're right.
But again, I love how Odo flexes his new mastering of manipulation through sheer force of having to deal with Quark, where he's like, I can find a way to manipulate Bashir now.
Odo is part Ferengi, I think. He spends so much time with Quark that he's just part Ferengi. Don't tell him that, but he is.
He's getting the lobes slowly.
Well, that was what the head coming apart was. Those were the lobes forming in his head.
So at this point, Odo starts trying to manipulate everyone to get to Cargo Bay 4 so he can turn this high-pitched noise on to get everyone's psionic force out of their brain. Which, by the way, you guys remember the TNG episode? This has got to be, how can you not think of this TNG episode when you watch the end of this?
The much better TNG episode?
The one where O'Brien, ironically, and Troy...
O'Brien, not again!
And Troy and Data, they get possessed by spirits from a penile colony, a prison planet.
Penal colony.
And they had, no, it was a penile colony.
From a very phallic colony.
From
I
the
said it
USS
right. Why do you think
You gotta
Troy
have a lot of balls to be on that starship.
Yeah. Why do you think Troy took such hard command at that episode? But at the end of the episode, they're literally in the cargo bay, and they turn on a high pitched sound, and the psionic cloud leaves their heads and gets. I guess they trap it in like the teleporter.
They trap it in a containment field. So the TNG episode is better, right? Just all on the whole, that TNG episode is better. But the way they handle pulling the stuff out of their heads is also better. Because in TNG, they use technology and trap it in a containment field, right? And we know that psionic energy can be trapped in containment fields because that's what it was already in. And then also we've seen that episode. Okay, cool. What does Odo do? What does Odo do with the psionic energy? Not matter, energy.
Vents it into
What does
space,
he do,
baby.
Matt? He blows it into... Have you ever tried to blow a light beam?
Well, that's something I didn't like in this episode. They I don't know if I didn't like it, but I understand why they did it that way, because they want to show a physical manifestation for the audience, so it's not just them screaming and holding their heads, which looks
right.
goofy.
So suck it off into a field and then launch that into space.
The idea of TNG is that
was for you, Mike.
It's not psionic energy. They're literally possessed by beings of energy. It's not just a psionic force, right? In this, they're not being possessed by somebody with a soul, right? It's just a psionic force being beamed in their head. So really,
it's a recording is what it is.
Yes.
This is the world's worst Netflix show, other than, I don't know, half of what's on Netflix now.
Really what Odo's doing is just pressing stop on the play button on the VHS player, on the VCR.
Yeah. What's a VCR, Matt? You're going to have to explain that to our audience.
It's magnetic tape player. And the video comes on the screen in 3 different colors. And anyways.
I hear it killed the radio star.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you end up trying to go with that route, though, you could easily just write in that the telepathic cloud imprinted personalities onto people versus, being just kind of a recording of the end of days for the civilization. So it's, again, the writing could have been a lot better. I think it's kind of the at least me and apparently Chris, the writing could have been better in the sense of maybe rounding out what this thing is supposed to be doing.
So we get a scene.
Also, can we?
Sorry, Chris.
Can we talk about how much air is in one of those cargo bays? Like they straight up open the whole door, right? It's halfway open, and that cargo bay is what? Maybe the size of a small house, and it's blowing. So the station must just be just pissing air into that room, because that cargo bay should have vented in about a quarter second, just gone. And they're, but no, it's just blowing and blowing. This is something that
it's like
science fiction does all the time.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. Do you know what happens when you get a hole in your spaceship? It leaks. Okay, if it's a big hole, it just vents and your ship is in vacuum and you're dead.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
sorry, continue.
It's like open a water bottle. How long does the air take to get in? Oh, instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get a scene in Ops where a Bajoran officer tries to poison Sisko, tries to inject him, and a fight breaks out, and Dax tries to snitch to Kira over the radio, and O'Brien backhands her like she didn't bring enough money home after a night working Aurora Avenue.
Yeah, it was. I think that is Star Trek's only pimp slap.
Yeah,
I think it's Star Trek's only pimp slap.
No, the original series
is they executed
the original series.
Is full
of backhanded slaps.
That's right.
That's like their favorite.
That's right.
That and the double axe handle.
I was gonna say
upside the head. Whoops, upside the head. But there was all the physical stunts in this episode were really well done. Like when Quark gets thrown into the bar, that was Armin Shimmerman, and she threw him against the back wall, and then he fell probably onto a cushion or something. But that was believable. And then when Sisko just throws the Bajoran into the pit, it looks real. And when O'Brien whacks Dax like that, it looks like he actually hits. It does. It's a lot of times in Star Trek, you're like, oh, okay, he's supposed to have hit her, or they're supposed to have been thrown, and it just kind of gives you the impression. You go, okay, I buy it. It looks like they connect. It's great.
Again, great performance by the cast.
Yeah. If only they had this performance on a better script.
If only O'Brien had wielded even a tenth of his power, Dax would have died.
O'Brien is the most powerful officer in Starfleet. He invented a differential magnometer on the fly.
I need to do this. I'm going to invent something to do that now. Manifest.
And he can order security officers that are higher ranked than he is.
He invented the pimp slap. And as we know, pimping ain't easy. So Odo manipulates Cisco and O'Brien to go to Cargo Bay 4. And then Kira and her minions track him down there. And the speech Cisco gives is so awesome. And again, Shakespearean. You have to watch it. It's so good where and my name will blaze across the stars. And it rules. I love the speech. And then Kira's answer is so perfect. She's like, that's nice. You'll be dead and you won't live to see it. You won't live to see it because you'll be dead.
Yeah.
Again, great performances from everybody in there.
Yeah.
It's a good episode, I think. But Odo activates Bashir's dispersal device, forcing the purple telepathic matrix out of the officers' bodies. Odo opens the cargo bay doors, venting it out into space permanently to death. And we talked about this before. This is just totally reminiscent of that TNG episode.
Ghosts in space.
Yeah.
So the crew regains their normal sense with no memory of why they turned on each other, and it leaves Cisco in his office, and Kira apologizes to him. And
sorry, I committed mutiny. Please don't fire me.
Cisco has a smile on his face, and he's like, I'll let it go this one time.
Next time, though, I'm hitting you with my big clock.
Yeah. Which he saves and is in his office for the rest of the series.
Kira admires Cisco's clock.
Yeah.
It's right there on the desk. He just has it on the desk for her to look at.
Yeah.
And she admires it. She was impressed that he made that clock all on his own.
To her credit, he admires it too. Like, he's just
true.
Oh my God, what is this?
I made
I've got the freaking blueprints for it, but heck if I know what this is.
Yeah.
There is one little bit of trivia for this that I know we're going to talk about trivia at the end, but there's a little continuity error in that in the scene where they vent the air out. Cisco's comm badge is visible on his uniform.
Yes, I noticed that.
And then
he'd thrown it down on the floor.
Yeah, then after that scene is done, they go back and Cisco's badge is missing. So it's just they filmed that scene out of
out of sequence.
Yes, exactly. So I thought that was a fun little bit.
I don't know why however I watch movies and TV shows, I never pick up on continuity stuff like that. Like in Back to the Future, there's a scene where
your brain's just not big enough.
Marty's talking to his dad and his pocket is like in and out, like over and over as they cut back and forth. And once you notice it, it's really distracting, right? But I don't know. I pay more attention to the plot, I guess, and I'm kind of thinking about what's going on.
That's where I was going to go with that. I disagree. Matt's brain is too big. He's thinking too much. He's thinking too high plane.
He's looking for the esoteric. Yeah. He's looking for the esoteric meaning behind.
Exactly.
But why is the pocket going in and out?
He doesn't notice it because he's trying to figure out how everything connects together.
What does the comm badge reappearing on Cisco's chest mean?
And then, meanwhile, there are some of us are like, actually, his badge isn't supposed to be on his uniform.
Dude, when I watch Star Trek, I get a bruise on my nose because I push my glasses up. I don't even wear glasses. I push it up so I'm like, actually.
I get a bruise from my monocle. I just,
Sometimes you push up the wrong eye and just poke yourself in the eye. Oh, no.
So at the end of every episode, we ask ourselves a few questions.
Well, we're going to do the trivia, right? Or are you going to do that at the very end?
Do that at the very end. So,
okay. After we end the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our first question, was there a singular ethical dilemma that defined the episode? Or put another way, what was the moral or philosophical message of the episode? Well, I think the writer was trying to get to something about paranoia in a way and needing to be more trusting of people to have a healthy society. Yet it could also be a cautionary tale about being too sympathetic to the point that you take on someone else's conflicts and their detrimental traits.
I think it was a cautionary tale of allowing yourself to trust other people so that you don't become the enemy while trying to plan for their sudden but inevitable betrayal. To sneak a little Firefly into the Star Trek podcast. Matt hasn't watched Firefly. Shun him.
Shun the non-believer.
Shun.
Mike hasn't seen Firefly either, have you?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
I have.
married. He's married to Ashley. Of course, he's seen it.
Both the TV show and the movie.
I've seen the movie like 3 times, ironically.
She probably showed him Firefly while they're on their honeymoon. Like, okay, yeah. But you got to watch this.
I don't remember
That's
Ashley
like, I
being into
gotta-
Firefly.
I need you guys to say at least one thing about Ashley in each of these podcasts because she doesn't listen to podcasts. I've tried to get her to listen to this one, several others. I think she'd have a great time. So I got her yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah, but you should. Yeah, if you had listened to the last episode, you would have heard what they said about you. And she was like, what did they say? And I'm like, you'll have to listen.
You'll never know.
That's ideal. And then we'll get like 17 views per podcast instead of 60.
Yeah.
Yay! Number go up. Lizard brain feel good.
About the quality of listeners, not the quantity, okay? Cope.
Copium.
Oh, you guys have that problem too?
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I think I agree with the paranoia part. One of the creeds I try to live my life by is the popular one of everything in moderation, including moderation itself. And that's just, it's the idea that you want to be a little doubtful. You want to be a little paranoid, but doubt and paranoia can lead to the downfall of anyone. And that kind of, rings true throughout this episode of, too much of a good thing or even too much of a bad thing, either way, will, be your end. And the other lesson that comes from this is when an unexpected ship comes through the wormhole, shields go up. Okay. Let's practice this together. Hey, that ship's not supposed to be here. Shields go up.
That's not how Star Trek works. You'd be a good Klingon captain.
We
Shields go up.
We talk with weapons.
We just undocked. Yep. Shields go up.
There's a lot
Shields go up.
of Star
There's
Trek.
an unidentified ship. Fire!
I don't even care if we know
Star
the
Trek
identity.
episodes that would
if you're not
never
supposed to be here.
There's a lot of Star Trek episodes that would never happen if they just flew around with their shields on all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even care about like on all the time, but that should be like basically, like if even modern day, like, hey, there's a ship out at sea and we're part of the military and, that ship's not supposed to be there. What is it doing there? You don't just like, leave all defenses, keep your guys off the guns. No, you just, you go to yellow alert essentially. You're like, oh.
There's another ship out there. Hey guys, you want to go visit the mess? I hear Cookie's got himself a nice new cream cake recipe.
And the Ferengi are on board again. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, not again.
If Star Trek was real, the ships, they would have the shields on all the time. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Not the Federation. It might be misconstrued as an insult.
Yeah.
I'm allowed.
Oh, we're sorry.
Yeah, I'm allowed to be a little insulting, especially considering the Federation most of the time, whenever they come across some brand new species, they get shot at anyways. So it's like, no, it's just policy now.
It's really beyond my control. It's in the handbook. I got to follow the handbook, man.
I'd take the people out of it entirely. I'd just be like, look, ship, if an unidentified, vehicle is on sensor and it's not supposed to, shields go up. We can turn the shields down.
Well,
we'll turn them off. That's fine. But automatically.
Well, we've talked about this. So just like when we talk about holodecks and how they can just turn the safeties off whenever they want. The Federation is very libertarian when it comes to safety protocols. Hey, bad things are going to happen if you turn this off. Turn them off. Okay.
But
hey, if you don't keep your shields up, that ship might blow you up. Keep them down. Okay.
But see, that's where...
but you got to put your 4-digit code in first. And then it overrides the master system of the whole computer.
Yeah. Well, except that they don't even have to do that half the time.
Look, I'm fine with them
Card
being able to...
3524. Well, safety measurements for the entire ship off. Explosions like self-destruct started.
I need you to add to double the reactor pressure in the warp core. If we do that, it's going to blow up in 30 seconds. Do it anyway. Okay. Yes, sir. Right away.
But then when the little black box gets picked up, Starfleet will be like, well, why the hell did he take down the shields? Like, they automatically...
No, they will look at it and they'll go, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I
a
understand
brand new
why this
unidentified
happened.
ship that we have no idea about what it is.
We'll find where they live and send them a gift box. We're really sorry about this whole thing. Could you not shoot at us anymore?
I don't know. It's one of those things that I feel like, it happens often enough. I feel like you should just, you know what? Shields go up. We don't know who you are. We'll figure it out. The shields can come back down. We can pull those down. That's fine. But until then.
So our next question, if you had to delete one scene, which would it be? Mike, you went last on the last one, so why don't you go first on this one?
Again, this is a skip episode for me, so I really had a hard time figuring out which episode or which scene to delete here. I didn't really care about the O'Brien and Dax in the shuttle looking for the recorder.
Yeah.
It gave them a chance to kind of flush out what's happening. Like, Dax is a bit
it's
of an
not
airhead.
necessary.
Yeah. So that would be mine.
I agree with Mike.
That's funny that you said that. So, man, did we really all pick? You guys wrote down this scene. We all really picked the same scene, because this is always, every episode, the toughest question for me to answer. Unless there's like one thing that really bothers me. And there's no scene that I despised in this. And there's no scene that is like just totally unnecessary to the story. That scene is partly necessary to set up the paranoia that's going on with O'Brien and the fact that there's a rift between the ship. But it is the one I think you could cut out and have the story still make sense. Because I think almost any other scene, if you cut it out, the story doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree with that.
I will say that this question is hard to answer on really good episodes and really bad episodes.
Yes.
Because really bad episodes, you're like, well, I got so many to choose from. Which will I delete? But and on really good episodes, you do kind of find yourself struggling, like, no, that makes sense. I understand why that's there.
It's hard. I'm finding this first season of DS9, they're trying to do really intricate high concepts a lot of the time in this first season. So they're not so character based a lot of the time. They're really intricate high concepts, and they don't have enough time to flesh them out. So the episodes have almost no fat to them. There's like just scene after scene of this happens and this happens and this happens. And so,
and they also just
cutting
kind of
something
end
out
a lot of the times too.
Cutting something out. Yeah. Cutting something out is really difficult. Even in a bad episode, it's like, what part are you going to delete and then have the story still make sense? But
I think I'd cut out in this episode. I think I would cut out the part right after the opening credits to the beginning of the ending credits. I think that's the part I'd cut out.
So what is your favorite scene? Mine was the scene with O'Brien and Cisco in Cisco's office, where Cisco jumps up and says, give me a phaser, I'll kill her myself.
Yeah.
But Chris, what was your favorite scene?
Odo, when Quark goes to talk to Odo, try to get sympathy. I'm dying. Get back here, I need justice. Just like, that's hilarious. Classic Quark.
Yeah.
Classic Odo. Ha ha ha. I like it.
How about you, Mike?
My favorite scene was where Odo barters with Quark. Again, that whole, you can tell he's been forced to become, a master negotiator.
So on the Senior Chief Petty Officer Miles Edward O'Brien official scale of torture, how badly was O'Brien tortured in this episode on a scale of 0 to 4 lights? Chris, you want to start us off?
I said 1. He didn't suffer very much because he's doing exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to be Cisco's buddy the whole time. He got to tell Dax to shut up.
Not to mention
And
the
he
pim-pam.
got to work out a little frustration on Dax because she keeps on telling him what to do. I already know what I'm doing.
I'm the most
And so he got to
powerful
hit his
officer in
boss. He got to hit one of his bosses. And
He
nothing
sure
was his
did.
fault. And he doesn't have to worry about anything because the magic mist got sucked out of the space station into space and nothing was his fault and the station's still running. So I don't think he suffered that much at all. The only suffering was at the very beginning when she's like, oh yeah, you got to do that. Yeah, I know my job. Thank you.
How about you, Mike?
So we're going to do a little math on this one. So first, he starts the episode by receiving a subspace message from his wife. So that's at least a 2. He got a promotion to be second in command for the Starfleet gang. So I removed half a light. However, he had to make command decisions without Cisco being of any help. So it was another 0.2. So I gave him a total score of 1.7 lights. But the audience torture score is 2.3 lights.
See, I went 0. O'Brien was never actually possessed. That was the real O'Brien this whole episode. He got some revenge against these Bajorans and their unending IT calls about their replicators. And he got the backhand Dax for telling him what to do.
Oh my God.
Hey, Chief, I understand, you were possessed. I just want you to know there's no hard feelings. Yeah, I was possessed.
Wait, you guys got possessed?
Is this episode properly defined as science fiction? Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
I would say the paranoia, no, but the personality change, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of stories out there of poisons or disease causing paranoia in individuals and the downfall of kings and all this other fun stuff. But the personality change kind of sets it aside as a science fiction episode.
The real enemies were the conspiracy theories we invented along the way.
So who was the main character of the episode? I think it's pretty clearly Odo. The entire episode is a test of
Data
Odo's
Odo because he was immune.
So the entire episode, which is funny because Data is one of the people
O'Brien's
possessed
right
in
hand.
the TNG version.
O'Brien's right hand was the main character.
So the entire episode is a test of Odo's skills as a police officer, which is, like I said, it's kind of hurts the high concept, which to me is a little more interesting than the mystery part. But I also like the mystery part, so I'm more positive on this episode. I don't know if you guys disagree with it being Odo or not.
No, I think we all agree.
No, it's Odo. It's Odo.
And overall score, what do you got, Mike?
I said 2 11/16 of a star. It's not really an average TV episode, but it's
No, you're
better
closer to me than I thought you'd be.
It's better than most that I put out there. So, because it's Star Trek. Like if I'm putting this on a scale of just Star Trek, it's a little lower. But of all TV, yeah.
I gave it a 2. It's a skip, but if you've never seen it before, it's worth watching for the acting in the episode.
Yeah.
And for Quark Odo antics.
Earn your time in the trenches.
I want to give a skip 2 stars. To me, that's too high for a skip.
I
don't know.
I went 2.5. It's like a middle of the line to me. I enjoyed it, but it's got its issues. It's kind of a middling episode, but I think the acting
Middle is 3 for me.
Out
to
of
me,
5.
3 is average.
3 is good to me. Like good.
Is this some kind of esoteric way of measuring math?
No.
Is that what's going on here?
But
I do want to quickly define what I consider to be a skip, though. I think if this is your first time watching, watch all of it. Earn your time in the trenches. Okay. But if this is your second time,
you have to watch season 1 of TNG.
Yeah. You have to watch TOS, TNG. You have to watch every episode to at least earn your time in the trenches with everybody else.
Do I have to watch Spock's brain?
Yes, at least once. But after that, if this is like your second or third watch through, skip. Boop.
So we'll get to the trivia, a little background on this to kind of give this episode context. So the screenwriter originally pitched this episode under the title Ritual Sacrificed, and it was renamed Dramatis Personae, which means the persons of the drama. So that is why the scenes feel Shakespearean. That's on purpose, because what is going on is that these people are reenacting a great play that is telling the story of the downfall of this civilization, which to me is a tremendous high concept for an episode. And the problem is that we've discussed they really should have been more explicit about that. I think you guys had a good idea that they should have started kind of referring to themselves. You know, Cisco could start referring to himself as the Emperor, or Brian could start calling Cisco the Emperor. And then Cisco's like, why are you calling me the Emperor? Or like, you know, be more explicit about it. But I like the idea that these people are like, they're bringing a Shakespearean play to real life, all the dangers, and like, you know, if they're doing Macbeth, they're really, you know, trying to, you know, backstab each other and whatnot. And I like that concept, but yeah, it becomes more of like a mystery of Odo trying to solve why everybody's acting weird, rather than focusing on the fact that these people are reenacting some ancient civilization's end of time story, you know?
I think one of the reasons I bounced so hard off of this episode is it reminds me of modern television. The story threads are very weak, and people are acting way beyond what they should be in terms of like how they react to things for the purpose of creating drama. It feels like a soap opera, and most of television now feels like poorly written soap operas because people just put it on their second monitor while they're playing a game or something. That's all they care about. So that's kind of what that's what really pushed me away from it. I was like, because I like the subtlety in Star Trek, you know, and this episode doesn't have a lot of that subtlety that I like.
Well, on the plot point, I think it's too subtle. I think they needed
What plot points?
The idea of them, like I was saying, recreating this play.
No, that was a joke. I was like, what plot points? I didn't notice them. The acting was too loud.
So
I liked the acting.
So Cisco's obsession with the clock is inspired by the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II. So the Holy Roman Empire is like when Germany.
Oh, he was a reindeer.
The Holy Roman Empire is like when Germany controlled much of Europe.
No, that was his second son. He had a red nose.
Oh, yeah.
So Rudolph II is famously neglected his empire, and he was obsessed with like mechanical gizmos and birds and oddities and whatnot. And so that is what's represented by Cisco being obsessed with this clock. That's the writer's intention, at least, is that Cisco has become apathetic to his empire, and he's become obsessed with this gizmo he's working on, right? And Cliff Bold directed this, and he's kind of known as the best director of TNG. They clearly give him more leeway than other directors in this DS9. There's a lot of different kind of shots in this. There's tons of close-ups in this episode, and you'll not see that on other DS9 episodes. And the lighting in this is
it felt more like a soap
darker.
opera in general. Like I use that word intentionally because
it's meant to feel Shakespearean was the intent, at least, right? That's why it feels more like a soap
stage
opera.
Then.
Well, I do also, I believe this was Joe Menosky's first debut as a writer in the Star Trek universe. He does continue to write for both DS9 and TNG, and I think even a little bit of Voyager.
No, he's a TNG writer. He's on the TNG writing staff before this. He works
before this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought this was his first Star Trek.
No, he's a longtime TNG writer at this point.
Oh.
And I don't know if he works on DS9 that much again. He ends up going to Voyager pretty soon after this.
That makes sense.
But it's funny if you kind of look at the background. There's all kinds of like kind of drama between the writers, because some of them like kind of TNG guys graduated DS9, and then some of them didn't get along with the DS9, and then they I don't think Brennan Braga. I don't even know if he ever works on DS9, but he goes and does Voyager, and they get kind of split because DS9 and Voyager ran concurrently for quite a while. But when does Voyager start? In DS9's third season?
I'm terrible at that timing thing.
But yeah, they ran concurrently for a while.
DS9 and Voyager. So Voyager started in 97?
No, it's
98?
earlier than that. It's like 94, I thought.
98.
That's like
No, 94 is when TNG ends. Voyager, I think, is 98. Hang on. I'm sitting in front of a computer connected to the collective knowledge of mankind. One moment.
Yeah, Voyager's 95.
Computer.
January 95.
Okay. It didn't overlap with TNG.
No. But most of DS9 it overlaps with.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting, boy. It'd be nice. We got all these Star Trek slop shows now. It'd be kind of cool if we had 2 good Star Trek shows running concurrently. It'd be neat. But 90s were the good old days, man. People were lucky.
Yeah, but you had to rewind your VHS tapes, and that sucked.
That is negative. Like the fact that you couldn't just easily watch whatever Star Trek episode you wanted to watch, that would kind of suck.
And dial up.
Yeah. But that was Dramatis Personae. The next episode we're watching is Duet, which
one of the best episodes
Chris
of Deep Space
will be
Nine.
Hosting, and his wife Leela will be joining us. And hopefully that'll be.
We couldn't let you have that one, Mike. Sorry, it's a good episode.
No. Just as O'Brien must suffer, so too must Michael.
Yeah, you are the O'Brien of the podcast.
Well, we can have him come back for the finale of this season because the finale is pretty good of season 1, if I remember correctly as well.
I think Gary's going to join us if he's available for the finale.
Oh, okay.
We will see. We will see, but I'm happy to be done with this season.
I do want to.
Don't worry, there are more bad episodes.
Yeah,
there are more
there
bad episodes.
I do want to add for listeners and you guys, I was quoting season 2, episode 1 earlier when I was talking about Kira. So you get to look forward to that.
I should have watched that.
We'll get to that pretty soon then.
Yeah, well, that is one note I had. So Leela and I watch these. So we've got a TV in our bedroom. So we put the kids to bed, and when I have her watch them with me, we lay down, turn on the TV, and we watch it together. And when Kira's getting all like slinky in the chair, and I just remarked, I was like, man, with how gung ho and I'm gonna go fight the entire world Kira is, you forget that Nana Visitor's gorgeous. You forget that. And Lila was like, is that just because she has short hair? I'm like, mostly, yeah, probably because I like long hair. But it's just she's sitting there, I was like, oh wow, that's right. Okay. It was just kind of funny. And I remember thinking, because I didn't like Kira when I was young. When I was distracted by Terry Farrell, but it was just kind of interesting.
Just one more thing you have in common with Bashir.
Chris will not be on the next podcast because he will have killed himself.
I think we've talked about this too. Is that a lot of the women in the show, because they're part of the military, because of their roles and and in command operations, stuff like that, they kind of behave a little more domineering, a little more masculine. And I think we've kind of talked about that. I don't think it's
masculine necessarily, but it was just, I don't know.
It was just feminine. I don't know. I don't know.
I like me a girl boss, so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's you don't. I don't know. Like you got a little bit out with Troy out of in TNG a bit, but otherwise, most of the women in the Star Trek universe. Well, TOS did its own thing where it was like, no, women are in skirts and very well put together makeup, hair, all this fun stuff. So that kind of separates a little bit. But in like TNG and kind of going forward as they embrace more of the tradition, the times that they were being created in. I think that's why you get this when Kira or Dax kind of behave in that way, you really notice that change, that difference.
Yeah, I agree with that on Kira. I don't think Dax acts masculine in the way Kira does. I don't interpret her character to be that way.
Well, Dax is almost like gender neutral in a sense, just because she has been, a man and a woman. And one of the first things that when you get engaged with Dax in the beginning of the series, and she basically just kind of says that it's like, I don't know, I was a man for so many, hosts that it's really nice to be a woman again and actually get the attention. And so I think she does a really good job of kind of playing more of a gender neutral character throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
At least
I interpret her to be very feminine personally. We kind of talk about that in our Dax episode, but you guys can go listen to that and give us our 21st view on that. Actually, that's I think our second most listened to. That one's got quite a bit of views actually.
Mike, do you know what the most popular episode of this podcast is?
Is it Babel?
No.
What is it?
You're on it.
Move Along Home.
Voted worst episode in Star Trek.
Yeah.
But
because we spent so much time ripping it apart.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Well, it's the rain. People listen to the rain in that episode to fall asleep.
Yeah. And they just let it play through. Like there is no, are you still listening? Nope, just went all the way through.
We should probably end this podcast. We've stopped talking.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Farewell, everybody.